We had excellent results with our research study. One of the reasons was because we had a very safe, effective, and time-efficient workout protocol where we combined strength exercise and aerobic activity in a very productive manner, really using a lot of energy during the protocol, but also using a lot of recovery energy in the time period up to 3 days actually after doing the workout. We had 3 exercises for the upper body, 3 exercises for the lower body, and 3 exercises for the midsection. But in between each of those series, we put in 6 to 8 minutes of cardio activity, aerobic exercise, again, to get the heart rate up and to really burn a lot of calories in between the strength segments. It's good psychologically, it's outstanding physiologically, and people like it because it's very, very time efficient, which is important. Most people don't like exercise because it's either boring or it takes too long. So with 20 minutes total of aerobic activity divided into 3 segments, and 20 minutes total of strength activity divided into 3 different groupings of body part exercises, just 1 set each, anyone can do this. Now, you have to work properly, good form, which Rita's going to be demonstrating with her clients in just a couple minutes, but also you need to work at a relatively high effort. Remember, we're doing just 1 set of each exercise, 8 to 12 repetitions per body part. We've got to do it just right. In addition to a relatively brief training period, your frequency does not have to be that often. Twice a week is just fine. In our large studies, we found that twice a week strength training works essentially as well as 3-day-a-week strength training. Now, if you like to train 3, that's fine too. But if you are time pressured, do a Monday, Wednesday, or a Tuesday, Thursday, or even a Monday, Thursday. However you break up that week, just make sure you don't do 2 workouts in a row. But if you do those workouts regularly, you'll not only burn energy while you're exercising, but your resting energy expenditure between workouts will increase 5 to 7%. So you're burning a lot of calories just at rest. You can't beat it. Just make sure you're consistent, don't miss any days, and you should be just fine.
So here we are at the leg extension machine where we're going to be working the front of the thigh, the quadricep muscles. And you'll notice that Patty, her knee is lined up with the red dot, which is the axis of rotation. And instructors use this to line up the knee joint so that you can work this muscle safely. Also, the leg movement pad is resting not on her toes and not on her shin, but somewhere in between. So comfort is really fine with this exercise. Patty's holding onto the handlebars to stabilize her spine. Her abdominals are pulled in, and you'll notice how nice and relaxed she is. Her shoulders are down. She's looking straight ahead. Her eyes are forward, and she's ready to lift the weight up slowly on 3 counts and holding it at a moment for a momentary pause, and then slowly lowering it down on 3 counts for a gentle tap. You exhale on the way up, and you hold it. You come up to the fully extended position, and then you slowly come down. Do not use momentum. Go nice and slow. Slower is better. And then exhale up and inhale down. So Patty's going to do 1 set of 8 to 12 repetitions in this slow, controlled movement speed. And she's going to increase the weight load once she completes the 12th rep to temporary muscular fatigue. And the next exercise bout, she will increase the weight load by 5%, and that could be 5 pounds. Here we are at the leg curl machine, the seated leg curl machine. This machine works the muscles in the back of the thigh as opposed to the leg extension machine that works the muscles in the front of the thigh. So here, Patty's going to hold on to the black handlebars, and again, we're going to be talking about form. So her abdominals are pulled in, upper body's relaxed, shoulders are down, she's looking straight ahead. But in this case, we're going to have her toes pointing up, so her ankles are flexed, and her knees soften a little bit, they bend a little bit to kind of clamp on to the roller. So take a breath first, Patty, and then as you exhale, bring the roller pad up underneath the seat until you feel it touch, and then slowly bring it back to the starting position where you feel a gentle tap of the weight stack. And again, exhale as she lifts. Good. And hold it for a peak contraction, and then slowly lower it. Again, breathe out and breathe in. She's going to do 1 set, again, 1 set of 8 to 12 repetitions to temporary muscular fatigue so that she feels pretty tired by the time she gets to that final repetition. Okay, so here we are at the leg press machine. One of my favorite machines actually, because it uses all the muscles that we use in the leg extension and the leg curl, and it also incorporates the gluteals, your buttocks. So it's hip, thighs, and buttocks. It's just like doing a squat, except you're in a seated position. You're going to notice that Patty's in really tight. She's tucked in so that she can really work those muscles efficiently. However, you're going to just get in as close as you feel comfortable. Okay, so now her hands are placed on the thigh purposely to overcome inertia. So take a breath first, Patty, and then gently press out till the legs are in a fully extended position. Very nice. Then bring your hands back to the handlebars. Beautiful. And then inhale as you return. Gentle tap. Remember that gentle tap. Again, you do not want to slam or bang the weights. You want to use resistance in both directions. You want to use the same muscles that you're lifting to lower the weight. Very nice. And remember, you're going to do one set, 8 to 12 repetitions to temporary muscular fatigue till you can't do any more. Great job, Patty. Okay, now we're getting ready to do some cardiovascular workout. This is going to be fun. Now remember, you did 3 strength exercises, your heart rate is up, and then you're going to jump on a piece of cardio of your choice. And this is one option. This is the rowing machine. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that. But if you don't know, it works a lot of muscles, the upper and the lower body, your arms, your legs, your midsection, your core. It's great. And so Patty's going to turn the machine on, and she's going to grab the handlebars and extend the knee and the hips and the back and the shoulders, incorporating all the muscles I just talked about. But also you're going to notice her posture. It's very important to sit up nice and tall, keep that body erect, the chest lifted, abdominals pulled in, and really focusing on breathing out as she pulls the bars in. 30 seconds at a lower intensity to recover or warm up or cool down. Think of that slower pace for those reasons. And then go as hard as you can for 30 seconds at a higher intensity so you can really burn those calories. This is called interval training. So she's going to be doing this for about 6 to 8 minutes. It's going to be over in a short period of time. You're going to love it. Okay, it's time to do the upper body exercises, and we're going to start with the chest press exercise. That works the chest, obviously, and it also works the tricep, the back of your upper arms, where a lot of women are very concerned about, and of course your shoulders as well. So now Ksenia, if you notice, she's sitting up nice and tall. Her abdominals are pulled in and her shoulders are relaxed. And I'm going to have her place her hands on the top handlebar, equal distance. Oh, great. And we'll use the bottom handlebar as well to show you that you can do both if you like. You have that option. It's centered in the middle of her chest, so everything is in proper alignment. She's going to look straight ahead now, eyes ahead, and then when she slowly straightens the arms, she's going to exhale. Good. And then straighten the wrists so that they're in line with the forearm, and then slowly bring it back. Gentle tap. So it's 3 counts out. Good, it's the same for all the machines. 3 counts lift and 3 counts lower with a pause in between for a peak contraction. Think about the muscles you're using, mind over muscle, and you'll get a great workout. And again, she's going to do one set of 8 to 12 repetitions, and once she completes the 12th repetition, it'll be time for her to increase the weight load. So here we are at one of my favorite machines. It's called the Lat Pull Down, and the Lat Pull Down works the muscles in the sides of your back called the latissimus dorsi, and also the muscles in the front of your arm, your biceps, and some shoulder muscles, as well as your core. To stabilize your core, you're working your abdominals and your midsection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand behind Ksenia to kind of guide her through the exercise. So Ksenia, if you wouldn't mind grabbing the handles with thumbs on top, and before you pull, just straighten out your torso. Very nice, so that you're in proper alignment, shoulders over the hips, looking straight ahead. Take a breath, and then as you exhale, begin pulling the bars towards your shoulders, and only go to shoulder level, squeezing your biceps, your back muscles, and your abs. Beautiful. And then slowly straighten. Again, we're using that 3 count lift and 3 count lower. And you can see when you're lifting the weight because the dial goes up as you lift. Exhaling, 3 counts as you pull. Very nice. And then pause for a peak contraction, and then 3 counts as you lower. Very nice. If you notice that her hands are facing one another, is one of the mistakes people make with this is they start to rotate their hands, because this moves a little bit, the handlebars, and this will help you to avoid your elbow from feeling pain in your elbow. And also another mistake that people make on this is when they pull down a little bit too low. They come down to the chest level. So I'm going to make sure that she's going right to her shoulder. So just bring it right to your shoulder. Very nice. Good. Squeezing all those muscles we were just talking about. Doesn't it feel great? Yeah. And very nice. So she's going to do one set, 8 to 12 repetitions like we've been saying all along. And then once she's completed her 12th rep, it'll be time for her to lift more weight the next time she comes into her workout regime. Very nice. And what I want to say about this exercise is a great exercise for posture. Really great exercise for posture. So good job, Ksenia. So here we are at the upper body exercise called the shoulder press, which works the shoulders, and the upper arm called the triceps. Now notice that Ksenia is sitting in proper body alignment. Her upper body's relaxed, and her abdominals are pulled in, her shoulders are down, just like in the other machines. And she's looking straight ahead. I'm going to have her hold on to the top handlebar rather than the bottom one. That's the one that she feels most comfortable with. But if you have narrow shoulders or you have a shoulder problem, you can use the bottom handlebar as well. Anyway, what you want to do is take a breath first, like we do, and then slowly straighten the arms in fully extended position, and then make sure the wrists are in line with your forearms before you lower the weight. Good. Very nice. And so she's going to inhale when she lowers the weight, and she's going to exhale when she lifts the weight, just like we do in the other exercises. And the counts are the same, 3 counts on the lifting with a pause in between, a momentary pause. The reason why we want you to use a pause is so that you don't just drop the weight or rely on momentum or gravity or the machine to lower the weight. You want to use your muscles in both directions. So she's doing a great job. Her feet are firmly planted, so she's nice and stabilized, and I think you're doing a great job. So here's another popular cardiovascular machine, and this is called the Recumbent Cycle. And we really like this machine here because it supports the back. And a lot of people have back trouble, so it's an excellent machine for that. One of the problems with using a cycle is that people just tend to jump on the machine without thinking about getting their settings for the lower legs to avoid hyperextending the knee. So I'm going to have Ksenia show you that when her leg is extended, she's keeping a slight bend in the knee. So the leg is almost fully straight, just a slight bend in the knee, and the other leg is bent a lot. So now for comfort, before she starts, we're going to have her place her hands on the sensors and then begin pedaling. Okay, and then if she feels comfortable, she can continue with that setting, or she can adjust her seat. Again, she's sitting up nice and tall, and she's got that good posture and alignment going on, just like on the other machines. Good. And so we have a program that is for interval training, and it just automatically alternates from 30 seconds of low intensity and 30 seconds for high intensity. And so the way that we monitor the heart rate so that she knows whether she's working hard enough or she's resting when she's supposed to is we use primarily the rating of perceived exertion, or the talk test. Of course, there's a lot of ways to measure your heart rate, and your instructor can show you how to do that. They can use the target heart rate zone charts, or they can use the RPE, rating of perceived exertion. I think you're doing a good job. How do you feel?
I feel good.
You're getting a good workout? All right. Here we are in the core line. We're going to be working the abdominal muscles, the muscles in the front of your trunk. So I'm going to guide Vince through the exercise. Vince, if you wouldn't mind putting your elbows up on the pad, fingertips touching the bars, make sure your wrists are straight. And we'll see that when you do your crunch. Good. And then take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, crunch all the way down. Pause for a peak contraction, and then slowly return as you inhale. Good. Again, he's doing a 3-count lift and a 3-count lower, that pause in between. As he lifts, the dial goes up, and as he lowers, the dial goes down. Notice that he's doing it in a very smooth, slow, controlled manner. It's very consistent. It's very smooth. And he's not jerking through it. Sometimes what people do is they go through the initial movement real fast, and then they slow down, and then it's pretty choppy. But this is nice and continuous, and that's the way that it should be. Also, the other mistake people make is they stop and start. They kind of take a rest in between, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to overcome inertia every single time. You want to keep the tension in the muscle. So he's doing a great job at this, taking his time, coming down, and slowly going all the way back, not slamming or banging the weights. Great job. Okay, here we are at the core line. This is the machine that works the low back muscles. And personally, I was in a car accident in my early 20s, and this really was a lifesaver for me, as it was for many of our members here. So right now, what I'm going to do is talk you through with Vince how to do this exercise properly. If you notice that Vince has just finished buckling himself up, and the reason why we have him buckle across his thighs and across his hips is to stabilize his legs and also his hips so that it doesn't turn it into a hip extension versus a back extension, which is what we want to do. We want to work those erectae spinae muscles. If you could bring your arms across your chest, very nice, and slowly, as you exhale, extend the spine all the way back, keeping the neck in a neutral position. He's looking, his eyes are forward, looking straight ahead. And then inhale as you come forward. Again, it's the same thing in all the machines. As you exhale, you lift the weight and the dial goes up. If you're not sure, just look at the dial and then you'll know when to breathe out. And inhale as you lower, and again, just look at the dial or the weight stack as you lower. Very nice, and it's a 3 count up and a 3 count down. There's no change, equal emphasis on both sides. But what's noticeable about this is it's nice and smooth and continuous. All right, there's no jerking movements on this one either. And it's important to keep your neck out of this exercise and to really truly isolate the low back muscles. So here we are in the core line again. This time we're going to work the sides of the waist, the oblique muscles on the rotary torso. You may have already done the front of your trunk and the back of your trunk on the abdominal curl and the back extension. Now it's time to rotate. And it's a great exercise for the sides of your waist. You're going to notice that Vince is sitting upright, shoulders relaxed, and he's looking straight ahead. It's perfect form. And now we're going to position his arms on the rollers. Place your right arm around the roller, Vince, for me, and left arm is going to just rest against the pad. So he's up against the spine, and he's going to slowly turn to the right as he exhales. Breathe out, good. Only going so far, it's a short range of motion, and then slowly returning for a gentle tap. Again, he's going to have to feel for that tap. As he exhales, you can actually see the weight stack lift. Good, and then slowly return. You'll see the weight stack go down for a gentle tap, and you'll get a great waist workout. Again, this is a slow count, 3 counts on the lift, 3 counts on the lower, and with a pause in between, working the sides of the waist. One set, 8 to 12 reps, and you're good to go. And now here's another great option of cardiovascular workout, and it's the treadmill, one that a lot of people are familiar with, and one that we really like as well, because it involves the core. In other words, your balance and coordination is required to do this proficiently. If you notice, Vince is in great alignment. His upper body's relaxed, he's looking straight ahead, he's standing nice and tall. One common mistake that people do when they're on the treadmill is they drop their head down. They tend to look down a lot, and they lean. And then it slides them back towards the end of the treadmill, and that can be dangerous. So we like to have them stand close in. Also, you can hold on if you like. If you're not comfortable with the treadmill and you don't have the ability to hold your body alignment in place, then you can hold on. Otherwise, you can let go, and you can use your arms to really pump it up. So what we're going to do here is 30 seconds at the slower pace and 30 seconds at the higher intensity, just like we've been doing in all the interval aerobic workouts for 6 to 8 minutes. And again, it's a great workout, and as you can see, Vincent is really doing a great job. He's looking straight ahead, just like I mentioned, standing nice and tall, pumping those arms, and getting a great cardiovascular workout. Good job, Vince. So let's recap the training program in our exercise and nutrition program. Plus, I'm going to tell you about an extra benefit. This program was designed in a circuit fashion, and our participants performed 3 resistance machines in order for the lower body first, and then moved on to their first cycle of an aerobic activity in an interval fashion for 6 to 8 minutes. While their heart rate was elevated, they moved on to the second line of equipment, and that was for the upper body, 3 machines in order and sequence, and then they would move on to the second cycle of the aerobic activity in an interval fashion, again for 6 to 8 minutes. And then the final line was for the core, your midsection, your spinal column, and they would go through those 3 machines and finish up with 6 to 8 minutes of aerobic interval training. Now you may have noticed that we didn't mention about stretching, but we did stretch in this program, and we did it in a unique fashion. We had 2 options for our participants. One, they could do it right on the machines. It's called at-machine stretching, so that each strength exercise was followed by a corresponding stretch for the muscle that they just strengthened. And so that was considered a distributed way of doing it. Or they had the option of doing it in a consolidated fashion. We have what we call a stretch mate. You could just do it on the floor or on a mat. It's a static stretch. And we held these stretches for just 20 seconds. We entered the stretch in a slow fashion, just like we did with the strength training, nice and slow, and we breathe through these stretches. And they really help a lot, not only for flexibility, but interestingly, we did a study and we found that when we added the stretching in with the strength training, whether it was distributed or whether it was done in a consolidated fashion, that it added to the strength by about 20%. So it gives you a comprehensive workout.